At the old bus shelter, the air felt too thin to breathe. A car idled close, window half down, and Tu Tien's voice slipped out. "Jack," while he held up one open palm and stayed back. Hours later, she stands in late gold light at their gate, alive but shaking. Anna hits her legs like a heartbeat. Min demands to be lifted, and Mom Loy's hands finally stop trembling. Officer Thu says everything is documented, yet the word "file" still rings in Jack's head. Who sent the car? What was in that folder? And why did the trap fail in daylight? If you've ever rebuilt trust, stay with me. So to understand how she got there, we have to go back. Before the bus shelter, there was the quiet kind of panic that makes a house feel too big. Jack came in from the yard and found Anna standing by the open gate, her small hands tight around the latch. "Mommy went to get air," Anna said, trying to sound grown. Min waddled in circles behind her, humming like he didn't understand fear yet. Mom Loy checked every room anyway: kitchen, back bed, wash area, calling Tu Tien the way you call for a light you can't reach. On the table, Tu Tien's phone lay face down, and Jack's own screen lit up with the same cold words again. "Bring the file. Come alone." Jack swallowed hard. "They're using me," he said. Mom Loy didn't argue. She just said, "Then we don't give them your love for free." And outside, the gate creaked once, like it was listening. Officer Thu arrived without sirens, just tires on gravel and a steady walk. She looked at the gate first, then at the fresh white strip beside the latch. "This was painted for a reason," she said softly. Anna pointed. "Mommy said daylight is safe." Officer Thu nodded, as if that sentence mattered like evidence. She asked Jack to show the folder. Jack held it up, and his fingers shook against the stiff paper edge. Mr. Dung came from the field path with his hat in his hands. "I saw a dark car turn near the old shelter," he said, calm as stone. "It waited, then it left." Jack's chest tightened. "So they're watching." Officer Thu's voice stayed level. "Good. Let them watch us in the open." She turned to Mom Loy. "Keep the children inside. Doors unlocked, lights on." Mom Loy's face went pale, but she nodded anyway. They sat at the kitchen table like they were building a fence out of rules. The folder lay between Jack and Officer Thu, and the corner was bent from Jack's grip. "What's in it?" Jack asked. "A copy," Officer Thu said. "Not the original." Jack blinked. "You're sure?" Officer Thu tapped the folder once. "If they want this, they want what it points to, but we don't hand them the key." Mom Loy poured water into chipped cups, the kind with faded flowers. Her hand shook, then steadied. "Where is she?" she whispered. Officer Thu didn't pretend. "We don't know yet, but we know where they want you." Anna climbed onto her chair and slid a crayon drawing across the table. Daylight, a big sun, and 3 stick figures holding hands. "Don't go in the dark," she said. Jack nodded at her like she'd given orders. By late afternoon, the sky was a thin winter blue, and the road smelled faintly of diesel and dry grass. Jack drove with both hands tight on the wheel. Officer Thu sat beside him, quiet, watching the mirrors. The folder rested on Jack's lap like a weight you couldn't set down. Behind them, Mr. Dung followed at a distance in a quiet vehicle, just far enough to look like a stranger. That was the point. Daylight didn't mean comfort. It meant witnesses. Jack kept hearing Tu Tien's voice in his head, small and strained. He remembered the rule they'd built. Love is not a door handle. At the bus shelter, he parked where anyone could see. He stepped out, slow, palms open. Officer Thu murmured, "No hero moves." Jack nodded and waited. The car rolled in like it belonged there. Its window dropped halfway, and Tu Tien's face appeared behind dark glass. Pale, eyes wide, but alive. "Jack," she breathed. His body surged forward, then stopped. He lifted one open palm. "Tu Tien," he said gently. "I'm here. Are you hurt?" A faint shake of her head. "No," she whispered. "Don't come close." The driver barked, "File." Jack raised the folder just enough to be seen. "Let her out first." The car inched forward, like it planned to swallow him too. Then a quiet vehicle slid in and blocked the road. Mr. Dung stepped out from the field path, calm as stone. Officer Thu's voice carried, firm and flat. "Stop the vehicle, step out." Tu Tien's hand reached out first. Officer Thu shielded her and guided her away. Only when Tu Tien was clear did Jack take 2 steps closer. Home smelled like ginger and warm rice before anyone even spoke. Mom Loy had the pot on, lid rattling softly, as if the kitchen refused to wait for permission to care. Tu Tien stepped through the gate and froze when Anna saw her. Mommy!" Anna cried, slamming into Tu Tien's legs with all the strength a 6-year-old can store in love. Min toddled up next, demanded to be lifted, then pressed his cheek to Tu Tien's shoulder like a stamp of approval. Tu Tien laughed, half sob, half relief. "I didn't open anything," she whispered, looking straight at Jack. Jack's eyes burned. "I know," he said. "You stayed in the open." Officer Thu stayed at the doorway, not inside, keeping her voice simple. "Everything is documented," she said. "Rest tonight." Mr. Dung left a small bag of sweet buns on the table and nodded once. Tu Tien watched the gate swing back, and her fingers tightened around Jack's sleeve. Night settled gentle on the yard. But Jack didn't trust gentle things yet. He checked the latch twice, then stood in the doorway with Tu Tien, both of them looking at the white strip by the gate like it was a line they couldn't cross. Mom Loy got the children down at last. Anna fell asleep, clutching her daylight paper. Min's small snores came in soft bursts from his bed. In the kitchen, Officer Thu laid the folder on the table and opened it. Inside was exactly what she'd promised. Copies, nothing more. "They didn't get what they wanted," she said. Tu Tien's voice was quiet. "Then they'll try again." As if answering her, Tu Tien's phone lit up on the counter. Unknown number, 1 line of text. Jack read it, and his blood turned cold. "Tomorrow, bring the real one, or lose the light." Folks, my heart is pounding. If this story feels real to you, please subscribe, because what happens next changed everything. Morning came gray and sharp, and Jack barely touched his coffee. Tu Tien sat at the table with both hands around a warm mug. staring at her phone like it might bite again. "You saw it," Jack said, voice low. "Tomorrow. Bring the real one." Mom Loy set a bowl of peeled tangerines down between them. "They want you to run into the dark," she said. "So don't." Officer Thu arrived before the kettle stopped steaming. She read the message once, then looked at the fresh white strip on the gate. "This family already wrote the answer," she said. "Daylight, witnesses, distance." Jack swallowed. "If I don't bring it, you don't," Officer Thu cut in gently. "You bring what we choose, and you don't go alone." Tu Tien exhaled hard. "They'll punish us," Officer Thu nodded. "Then we make punishment expensive." Anna woke up early and found the grown-ups whispering. She climbed into her chair and slapped her daylight paper on the table like a badge. "A happy rule," she said. "After scary, we do light." Min waddled in, hair sticking up, and tried to chew the corner of the paper. Anna rescued it with a squeal. Tu Tien pulled the kids close, breathing in shampoo and warm sleep. "We're staying safe," she promised, and her voice shook only once. Mom Loy opened the curtains wide. Sunlight slid across the floor and warmed the faded rug. She turned on the porch light too, even though it was day. "No shame in extra light," she muttered. Jack taped Anna's paper beside the door. The crayon sun smiled at him, and he whispered, "Okay. Lead us." They planned with simple objects. The folder stayed on the table. Tu Tien's phone stayed face up. Jack's car keys stayed out of his pocket until Officer Thu nodded. "Here's the line," Officer Thu said. Jack goes to the shelter. He carries the folder. He never closes distance. Mr. Dung stood by the window, watching the road like he could hear trouble coming. "I'll park where I can block if needed," he said. Calm words, steady hands. Tu Tien's throat bobbed. "And me?" Officer Thu met her eyes. "You don't show! That's what they expect to control." Jack reached across the table and covered Tu Tien's fingers. "I hate leaving you here." "You're not leaving," Mom Loy said. "You're returning." Tu Tien nodded. "Return safe," she whispered. By noon, the bus shelter looked ordinary. Peeling paint, a bent sign, dry weeds whispering in the wind. That was the point. Ordinary places don't hide secrets well. Jack parked where passing trucks could see him. He stepped out with the folder in his left hand and his right palm open, empty. His mouth tasted like metal. Officer Thu stayed back, close enough to speak, far enough to stay unseen behind the shelter wall. Mr. Dung waited on the bend with his quiet vehicle, engine off. A dark car rolled in, window down halfway. The driver's voice snapped. "Real one." Jack lifted the folder. "This is what you asked for." The car crept forward. Jack didn't move. He only said, "Daylight, not me." The driver's door cracked open, then shut again. For a heartbeat, everything hung on a thin thread of patience. Officer Thu stepped out into view, badge catching sun. "Stop," she called, flat and firm. "Vehicle stays." The dark car jolted backward, tires spitting gravel. Mr. Dung's quiet vehicle slid into the road, blocking the retreat without rushing. Jack's knees went soft with relief and rage. The driver shouted something ugly and threw the folder back out the window like trash. It hit the ground and burst open, copies fluttering, harmless as leaves. Officer Thu didn't chase. She raised her radio and spoke once, calm as a clock. The dark car turned hard and sped away, but its plate was clear in the bright air. Jack bent and gathered the papers with shaking hands. "They wanted me to chase," he said. "And you didn't," Officer Thu answered. "That's the win." At home, Tu Tien waited by the gate, fingers pressed to the white strip like it could steady her pulse. When Jack's car finally turned in, she didn't run. She breathed. That was new. Jack stepped out and held up the folder, still empty of danger, still heavy with meaning. "We kept the light," he said. Tu Tien's shoulders dropped, and she made a sound that was almost laughter. Mom Loy pulled her into a quick hug, then pretended she didn't. Anna demanded cocoa like it was medicine. Jack spilled a little powder on the counter and sneezed, and Anna giggled so hard she hiccuped. Min banged his spoon once, serious, then laughed at his own power. Tu Tien swayed with Jack in the kitchen, not dancing for show, just moving slow enough to tell the body, "We're here." That night, the yard stayed quiet. No new texts, no car. Just the porch light pooling on the dirt and the Christmas speaker playing low, soft as a lullaby. Officer Thu stopped by the gate and pointed to Anna's paper. "Keep this," she told Tu Tien. "It's smarter than most threats. The burner's dead now, and that plate is on file." Mr. Dung handed Mom Loy a small bundle of fresh bulbs for the garden. "For spring," he said, and Mom Loy's eyes softened like she'd been waiting to feel that word again. Jack locked the folder away and took Tu Tien's hand. "They tried to steal our courage," he said. "They didn't. I've lived long enough to know this. Light isn't luck. It's a choice, made again and again, with steady hands and people who don't let you face fear alone."